Okay, hello everyone. Happy Tuesday, excuse me. As soon as I start talking, of course, once again I get a frog in my throat, I swear. I should really get into the habit of clearing my throat before I start recording. But anyway, hello and welcome to today's daily update. Today is Tuesday, October 13th, 2015. And let me get you caught up on everything going on with me. And some updates. I've got some big updates, some interesting updates for everyone today. In particular, in regards to some feedback that I've received over the past 24 hours. So I do want to say thank you to all of you who did respond yesterday in my daily update. I posed the question: streaming, live streaming, and its future in my content. What should it be? Should live streaming be a daily thing like I've treated it for the past 2.5 years since I started live streaming in early 2013? Should I be doing it for every single game, every single project, everything I do? Or should it be treated differently? Okay, and the reason this whole question has come up, sorry, I'm adjusting my pop mic guard thing. So you might hear some pop filter, that's what it's called. You might hear some shuffling of the microphone as I do this, sorry. But anyway, I posed this question quite simply because, as you guys and gals know, I've been having problems over the past couple of months with false copyright strikes being filed against my channels on YouTube. And every time a false one gets filed, it somehow goes through because YouTube's automated copyright system is a piece of shit. I will forever be very honest about that. It's an automated piece of shit. It doesn't actually have a human check anything. It's easily fooled, and it's insufficient. In fact, it's quite illegal. If you actually look into the legality of it, to shut down someone's business for a completely false copyright strike with insufficient information and falsified contact information is illegal. But no one's taken YouTube to task for it yet, okay? So because of that, my channel is it's now twice now in the past 2 months lost its ability to live stream. And let's face it, it brings my business to a grinding halt when here I am in the middle of content or live streaming a game and all of a sudden, well, I can't stream and now it's all up in the air. The good news is I could still record and upload the videos like I used to do before I ever started live streaming. So at least it's not like, well, my whole business is shut down. But it is annoying when, I have a schedule and I'm trying to adhere to it. And I tell everyone I'm going to be doing something and then I don't do it, right? And let's face it, if that keeps happening, if I keep promising, oh, I'm going to stream or I'm going to do this, and then I can't do it, people just aren't going to turn up for the streams anymore, right? They just won't, because what's the point if it says he's going to stream and he constantly isn't streaming? So, I posed the question yesterday on this daily update, since I still cannot live stream, and I'll give everyone an update on that shortly. I posed the question: what should I do in regards to the future of live streaming? And I posed a few options. Option number one was I just do as I've normally done. I stream everything. Every time I play a video game, it gets live streamed. Okay, that was option number one. Keeping in mind that streaming really is fan service. And I want to emphasize that here in this daily update video for you. Streaming really doesn't benefit me at all. Back when I live streamed on Twitch, I barely made any ad revenue for what I live streamed. And the only real way to make money on Twitch was to constantly beg for subscribers and or donations, neither of which I did, because I refused to do it. I refused to just sit here and beg for money. I'm here to play games and have fun. So I may give a plug on a pre-stream, but as soon as the gameplay starts, that's it. We're business. This is game time business. Not time for me to constantly be stopping the stream, begging for subs and donations, and every time someone becomes a sub or a donator, I play a sound and I interrupt the stream, because that proves that the point of me streaming is not about gameplay, it's about making money, and that's not what this is about. At least for me. I'm a lot different than a lot of other people who do this. So, that's number one. I can keep live streaming, just like I used to, as a fan service. Number two, I could not live stream at all. Live streaming's done. And then I don't have this issue. If I get false copyright strikes, big deal. They're all going to get cleared up anyway, because, unless someone's going to sue me, which no one's going to because all these copyright strikes are false, my channel's still going to exist. They're all going to get cleared up, and I could just upload business as usual, and then there's no interruptions ever. Okay? Or there's kind of a middle ground, number three, where I live stream for special things. So, for example, when I do a podcast, Hate Live, I live stream that. People like to see a live podcast, right? When I do a premiere of a big game, a big AAA game is coming out, and everyone wants to see me play the beginning live, I'll live stream that. When we're doing a special event, like a marathon for the patrons, right? Or a patron's choice playthrough, and people want to see the first several sessions live, then I'll live stream. But in general, when it's just business as usual, when I'm doing a continuing playthrough, maybe when I'm doing a game that's not such a big release, or a retro playthrough, a game that it's an older game that I never played before, then I won't live stream, okay? And what this will do is a few things. Number one, it'll take the burden off of me of always having to maintain a live stream. I'll be honest, when I'm live streaming, there's a lot of factors that go into it. I need to monitor the stream to make sure that it's looking good, it's not buffering, it's not having issues. I need to monitor the stream chat to see that everything's going on fine in there. I need to make sure that when I'm taking commercial breaks or whatever, that there's not a long dead time. That's one of the biggest things about live streaming. I know there's hundreds of people watching me at all times. So if I'm going to go use the bathroom, and then all of a sudden Leanna grabs me and says, oh, I need you for something, where I'm doing this, I need your help. And then the phone rings. Oh man, it's not, I come back, it's 20 minutes later, right? No, if I were just recording offline, it wouldn't have been an issue at all. But since I'm live streaming, everyone on the stream's pissed. Because I took a 20-minute break because, stuff happened. That's life. So that's another factor. And of course, there's also the scheduling factor. If I'm just recording offline, I could do it whenever I want. I could literally just run in my office, turn on my capture device, click, I'm good. With a live stream, I've got to set it up. I've got to get it going. I've got to get an attendance built up. I got to ask everyone, does it sound good? Then I do the pre-stream, then I start, and it's a lot more work. It's a lot more time consuming. And I'll be honest with everyone, the past couple of days that I haven't been live streaming, I realized I can actually get more gameplay in when I'm not live streaming because I don't have that constraint, right? There's no constraint of need to get attendance up, need to make sure the stream's working, need commercial break timing, none of that. I can just play. And it's funny because last night I was playing Talos Principle, and I was so engrossed in this game, which, by the way, I strongly recommend you check out the playthrough. I really like the game, although I know it is an older game. It came out last year, and quite honestly, it's a puzzle game. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I definitely recommend you check out the playthrough. Anyway, I'm playing the game. I'm so engrossed in this game. There's no stream chat to distract me or anything, right? And I'm hyper-focused, and there's some puzzles that are incredibly challenging, but I'm figuring them out. I figured out every puzzle by myself without looking up anything. And it's feeling like a lot of accomplishment because, like, wow, I figured it out. It really does draw parallels to the original Portal, which was a game of its own way back in the day. And here I am in 2015 playing a game that's very similar, different puzzle mechanics, but very similar in the fact that it has those kind of challenging puzzles. And I realized I'm recording 45 long-minute parts of it because I'm so into it. I'm so into the game, hyper-focused on what's going on in the game with no distractions. I'm not looking at the clock. I'm not looking at stream chat. I'm just playing and having fun. And I realized, oh shit, these parts are like super long. And that's okay. It's not a big deal. It's not a playthrough, I'll be honest, that a ton of people are watching anyway. So who cares if the parts are long or whatever. But that's what I mean. When I don't have all this distraction, it makes the playthroughs a lot more enjoyable. It really does. Now, there's some exceptions. I mentioned, for example, yesterday, Metal Gear Solid 5. There were things in Metal Gear Solid 5, if I didn't have anyone explaining to me, I would have never figured them out. Just using certain gadgets you've researched, different things about the game that were never, ever explained in the game, because I'll be honest, the Metal Gear series never did a good job of explaining a lot of the game mechanics. It was all about you figuring it out for yourself, which doesn't lend itself well to a playthrough. Me sitting here and flubbing with the game's controls for 45 minutes doesn't help. People want to see me play the game, not fucking, struggle just to learn the basics. So, there's positives and negatives to live streaming. And honestly, I think that's why, like I said, some games would lend themselves to it and some don't. So I think, I took in all this feedback. I did yesterday after putting out this daily update video talking about all of this, because I can't live stream right now. I got a bunch of feedback in the comments. Also, people posted up on my forums, and people tweeted me. And I got some emails, too. So thank you to anyone who sent me feedback in the last 24 hours regarding the future of my live streaming. And I can tell you this, even though there is disagreement, there is a lot of disagreement. There's some people that just, no, I hope you just go right back to what you were doing. And there's other people who are like, I wish you would just never stream at all. Go back to how you were doing pre-2013. I think ultimately most people are kind of in agreement about a middle ground. Meaning, I will live stream, but it's going to be for events. For example, whenever I do a podcast, I should live stream it, right? Whenever I'm doing a patron marathon, I should live stream it. If I'm doing maybe the first several sessions of a major AAA game, or a patron choice playthrough, something to that effect. If I'm playing a game that lends itself to live streaming and stream chat interaction, or multiplayer sessions in particular. I think that's a huge one. If you're doing multiplayer sessions, right, and you need to have the matchmaking with people, you need to interact with those people to make sure it's working. So that's a one where easily, stream chat is not going to distract me when I'm playing a multiplayer, game. So I think that might be the best way to go about it. And that way, since I'm not planning on live streaming every single day, it'll be a little bit more relaxed for me. I'll be a little bit more focused on the games. And let's face it, it'll make it more special. And I think that's really what the problem is right now. As I said the past couple of weeks, I think, quite honestly, that people take my video content for granted. They do. They say, well, Phil's going to be here every day. Phil's going to live stream every day. Phil's going to upload videos every day. And because of that, there's no reason for me to watch until there's one giant AAA game that I really want to watch. Even though I know that Phil puts out this content for us to watch, and I know that it's entertaining, and, his commentary and his gameplay lend to his playthroughs and make them a lot different from what other people do. In fact, I'm one of the few people who still does true game playthroughs without editing out all the fails and doing all that. I'm one of the very few people who can give you an honest view of what it's like to play a game from start to finish. Most other people abandoned that formula so they could be more mainstream, and they could have more, this video is more fast moving, and I could get more common viewers who normally wouldn't even watch gameplay videos. I can get more viewers and more money, so I'll change my style up. I never did that. So, I think people take it for granted. They just think, well, Phil's been here since 2008, and he's going to be here forever, so he's streaming today, I don't need to watch it. He's playing his game, I don't need to watch it. I'll watch it once every 4 months now. I used to watch every video Phil ever put out. Now I'll watch once every 4 months, and, I'm sorry, but I'll be honest with everyone, that does not support a business to continue to exist. It just doesn't. It would be like if there was a local business in your neighborhood, you absolutely loved the product there, like whatever it was, something you just buy that you liked, or food, maybe it was a restaurant, and you used to go there all the time, and so the business was very profitable and very prosperous, and then you decided, well, I like them, and I know they're still going to be there because they're very successful, so I'll just go once every 6 months. What if everyone had that mentality? And I think that's what's happened with me, is people just take it for granted that I'm going to still be here. And you see what happened in the past couple of months, where even though there was big AAA games and I was playing them and the playthrough started out really well, I had pretty much a terrible month last month in September. And this month in October has been awful. The whole first half here of October, it's the 13th now. We're halfway through October. And even though, I'll be honest, there's no huge releases really, honestly. Was there any game that really blew anyone away? No, not yet. Those are kind of reserved for the second half of the month. But, it's been terrible. And, for a businessman, it makes me busy. It makes me nervous that, I'm not getting attention levels. It's the busiest gaming part of the year. And I can't even retain a certain amount of viewers per video, or even get a certain amount of viewers on a stream. That's ridiculous. So I think what needs to happen is, if streaming is going to continue to happen, that it needs to become something that's a little bit more reserved and a little bit more special. Not that it's commonplace and it happens every single day, twice a day. So I think what I'm going to do, honestly, here's the thing, because I'll give you the update, because this is the big update. I did hear back from Machinima per YouTube. By the end of today, Tuesday, I should have my live streaming capabilities restored. So by the end of today, it should be restored. Then they're going to try to work to get this strike removed, but I get the feeling it's going to be just like last time, where I'm just going to have to sit and wait, because YouTube they're such pussies. Because God forbid that they remove this strike, even though it's completely bogus. They remove the strike, and then someone actually does try to sue them and say, how dare you remove that strike within before the 14 days passed that I had to legally respond. So, at least I'll get my live streaming back. But I think what I'm going to do, especially with this week, if you look at the releases this week, which we're going to review right now, I probably won't be live streaming gameplay at least maybe in the next week. And let me explain, okay? So right now I cannot live stream. Let's make that clear. It's not, I don't have the capability back yet. Today's gameplay right now, as you can see, I'm about to play The Witcher 3 DLC Hearts of Stone. It came out last night. Got it. I downloaded a huge 18 gigabyte patch to update The Witcher for it, and then another 4 gigabytes to actually get the DLC. And from what I've heard, it's anywhere from 8 to 12 hours of gameplay, depending on how many side quests and stuff you do. And you can either just load up your game and the quest will appear, or you can start a new game and just play the quest with a predetermined set of weapons and armor. I'm probably going to load my game from after beating it, and just do it that way. But we'll see. You know, that's what I'm going to do. I'll play that for around 2.5 to 3 hours on my first session of gameplay. Later tonight, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to be playing Minecraft Story Mode on the Xbox One. It's the first episode of a new episodic release game from Telltale Games, where they're taking Minecraft and they're turning it into a story, which obviously isn't what Minecraft has been. And people have no idea what to expect. You know, it's probably going to be one of the weirdest things ever. Apparently, it's got weird voice talent. I heard that Paul Rubens is a voice in this fucking thing. Pee Wee Herman. Now, this could be a lie, but someone a couple months ago told me Paul Rubens did a voice for this game. What the fuck? But anyway, I digress. That's going to be my second session of gameplay tonight. And then, you know, tomorrow I'm going to be doing more Witcher, maybe more Talos Principle, because I'm about 2/3 through Talos Principle from what I'm to understand. And then same thing, Thursday, I'm going to be doing the Hate Live podcast. So what I might do is first half Witcher 3, second half of the day I will live stream, because I do have live streaming capability on my vlogging channel anyway. I'll live stream the podcast, and that's going to be an interesting podcast. It's going to be discussing all the games that I've been playing recently. It's going to be discussing the state of my business, some changes that I'm thinking of instituting, both with the streaming and without the streaming, some new things that I want to do, and I want to get people's opinions on that. And talking and hyping up some of the new games coming up shortly. I want to talk about game news. I want to talk about a bunch of... There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I haven't done a podcast in a month. TV, movies, all kinds of stuff. And I hope that you will tune into the podcast for that. This coming Thursday night, around 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay? But that'll probably be my first live stream of the week. Okay? That's the first guaranteed live stream that I can promise everyone. And then just continuing on. You know, I got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and throughout that time, what I'll probably do is balance Witcher 3 with Talos Principle, and if I do finish Talos Principle or the Witcher 3 DLC, I'll play more Disgaea 5. And I think that's going to round out the week. Now, already you might say to yourself, but Phil, I thought you had been questioning and thinking whether or not you wanted to play Dragon Quest Heroes this week, which comes out today. This is supposed to be a combination of Dragon Quest gameplay with Dynasty Warriors gameplay, so it's action-based combat with RPG leveling and looting elements, with a full story of voice acting, like everything. It's like basically RPG and Dynasty Warriors hybrid. And I asked everyone earlier this week, should I play this game? And it was like 50-50. 50% of the people were like, Phil, this game looks pretty generic. It pretty much looks just like Hyrule Warriors, you know, with a few more elements, but it's pretty much the same exact thing. It's going to get repetitive to watch after a few parts. Don't bother, especially because it's $60. If you're going to get it, wait. Buy it for a downtime later on, sometime next year maybe, and play it then. The other flip of the coin, the other side of the coin, people are saying, Phil, it looks so amazing. It's a hybrid of RPG and action. It's perfect. You should play it. And I'm like, well, I can't do everything, you know? And now people already said they wanted me to play Minecraft Story Mode. So I'm doing that. Also, this is something big, ladies and gentlemen, that I just found out about. Supposedly, coming up this weekend, as early as this Friday, on the PlayStation Network, on PlayStation 4, they're going to perform a networking test in the Americas, so North and South America, for Dark Souls 3. And it's not a closed event. It's not like you need a code or anything to do it. Supposedly, it's just going to be released on PSN. And everyone's going to get their first taste of Dark Souls 3 this coming weekend. That's out of... Like, this wasn't even, like, previously announced. It just came out of nowhere the past couple of days. Everyone's like, what the hell, really? So if that does happen, I would certainly like to take a session of gameplay to do that. Because it's going to be, you know, Dark Souls on the new console. Hopefully it can finally live up to the graphical expectations that we wanted. Remember when we saw the promos for Dark Souls 2, and then the game came out, and the game looked exactly like Dark Souls 1. They had basically gone back on all of the graphical improvements they had promised in the early trailers and stuff. So, you know, here's hoping that Dark Souls 3 will not only live up to that, but the gameplay. You know, this Dark Souls is very different. Everyone's going to have a specialized weapon and skill set of special abilities and stuff, and I don't know how that's going to come into play in this testing. But if this happens this weekend, I definitely want to do it. So between The Witcher 3 DLC, Minecraft Story Mode later tonight, continuing on and hopefully finishing the Talos Principle this week, this Dark Souls 3 test, and playing a little bit more of this Gaia 5 hopefully, I think I've got way more than enough to take me into next week. Now next week, FYI, we've got the conclusion of Life is Strange, we've got the conclusion of Tales from the Borderlands. I think there was actually a rumor that there might be a third release like that during the week, but I'm not sure. And of course, I'll be continuing on with everything else, so maybe continuing on with this Gaia and balancing everything with that, okay? And so, it makes sense for me to not start that Dragon Quest Heroes right now. So for those who are looking forward to it, I apologize. I was also looking forward to it. I just don't think the time is right. And it's funny because the thing that really gets me, I'll read the comments on a video. Okay, and this happened yesterday. I read the comments on a video, and someone left this comment. Man, I remember last year, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, every comment always says it's sometime in the past. Phil said that he was going to play less games, and he was going to play less new releases, and he was going to be more laid back. Whatever happened to that? And I read a comment like that, and I just got to scratch my head and say, I swear to God, like, some people just don't take any fucking time to think or research before they speak. Just this month in October, here's the games that I skipped so far in October. Rock Band 4, the Uncharted Collection. I'll be skipping Yoshi's Woolly World. There was also, there was another one last week that I skipped too that everyone was like, are you going to play it? Are you going to play it? And I didn't play it. And now I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was another one last week, right? I'm not playing Dragon Quest Heroes. Oh, I know. Oh, this game Undertale. I've never even heard of it. Apparently, there's another game that no one's ever heard of that was released, and because some bigger streamers or bigger YouTubers decided to play it as like a fad, this gaming fad that happens now. Pick a game no one ever heard of, one big person plays it, and then everyone has to play it to jump on the View bandwagon, right? I never heard of this game, Undertale. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm saying there was no promotion. I had no idea what the fuck it was. I never heard of it. Yet, for the past week, everyone's like, are you going to play Undertale? Just stop playing everything you're playing and play Undertale. What the fuck is Undertale? You know? This happens all the time. Are you going to play the new hot game? What was it? Rocket League during the summer. Are you going to drop everything you're doing, Phil, to play Rocket League? What the fuck is Rocket League? It's a game no one ever heard of, and no one cares about until someone popular plays it, and then all the oh, it's the viral fad now. Everyone has to play it. You know, and I'm sorry, I have a schedule, I have games that I'm interested in. No, I'm not going to drop absolutely everything that I've already planned, right? I'm already skipping games that I wanted to play, like Dragon Quest Heroes. No, I'm not going to drop everything just to play the viral fad to get cheap views. And I know that's a tough decision, because some people would say if you did that, you just get extra views, your business would be doing better. True. But then I wouldn't be staying genuine to myself. I wouldn't be playing the games I want to play. I wouldn't be doing what I want to do on a daily basis, right? There's some things I'm willing to concede on and some things I won't. And I'm not willing to just drop everything and change everything to jump on a viral fucking fad. Like, you know, I'll be honest, like these people who just love these fucking fads. I'm not like that. I'm not 13 years old anymore. Maybe if I was 13, I would care. I don't fall for that shit, you know? Again, nothing against Undertale. I know nothing about this game. It could be an amazing game, and that's why people are liking it. But I know for a fact no one gave a shit about this game until, like, all of a sudden it became a viral fad, and now everyone wants to fucking play it, right? So, just to get back on subject, I read a comment like that, like saying, oh, Phil said he was going to play less games and not play every game. I just mentioned, what, 5 games or so in the past week and a half that I skipped. And if anyone, you know, if you're going to leave a comment like that, use your fucking brain. And actually say, well, gee, I wonder what games actually did come out, and do some 1 minute of research. would have realized that there was a ton of games that I didn't play, and there's continues to be. Yoshi's Woolly World comes out later this week, not playing it right now. Tales of Zestiria comes out next week, not playing it when it releases. I'm purposely skipping these games because I know that there's not enough time. If I do everything, I'll be juggling too many games at once, and it's not going to be a viable project. You know, no one wants to sit around and wait 4 weeks for me to finish a game. So that's why I'm not doing that, okay? So anyway, I digress. As of right now, I don't have my streaming capabilities back. I'm supposed to have it by the end of today. When it does come back, I think I'm still going to be more selective. And like I said, really right now, the only stream that I have planned for this week is Hate Live Podcast on Thursday. I will tell you this, the one stream that I definitely would want to do is if Dark Souls 3 does actually have this thing this weekend. Whenever I do that, I would like to possibly do that as a live stream, and I would probably even do face cam, because you know, you're going to see some silly shit with monsters and the online gameplay, which is probably still going to be terrible. I'd like to definitely do a face cam for that too. So that would be like a special event. There's an example. A special event, something completely different, not going to be something that I do all the time, and it makes the live streaming special, right? So that might be coming up this weekend. But outside of that, I would say next week with Life is Strange, I'll probably live stream that. Tales from the Borderlands, I don't know. The playthrough that I did of that really didn't get much following over the course of this past year. So I don't even know if it makes sense. Plus, I'll be honest, when I play a game on PC, if I live stream it at the same time as capture it, it actually doesn't look very good. Well, it does. Let me put it this way. It does, but it has frame rate drops. If I don't live stream it, it'll probably look better. So I might not live stream the conclusion to that. But let me give you some examples. The premiere of Assassin's Creed Syndicate and probably the first day or two of that gameplay, yes, that would I would live stream. Halo 5 and WWE, their premieres, and you know, a couple days of footage of that, absolutely. Call of Duty, the co-op gameplay I'm looking at doing with Koruchado, with zombies and stuff, absolutely, you know. Fallout 4, are you kidding me? Of course. Not the whole playthrough maybe, but at least the first couple sessions. So there's some examples of things that I would live stream versus an ongoing playthrough of Disgaea 5. Probably not. The rest of Talos Principle. Probably not. Witcher 3 at this point. Probably not, you know. So there you go. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. And I'll make my final decision, you know, once my live streaming capability does come back, but that's how I'm looking at it and approaching it for now. Okay. Alright, that was a lot to talk about, but that was a lot I had to get off my chest, you know, with all this stuff I'm thinking about and mulling over in my head. Being that it is what it is, that you know, we're having all this copyright issue nonsense. I want to say thank you to those of you who have been supportive, those of you who are watching the content, even though I'm not live streaming. A lot of people have been enjoying Talos Principle, although it certainly isn't a mainstream audience. The people who are watching it, who are, at this point, few and far between who are continuing with the playthrough, but they're liking it. It's actually one of my favorite playthroughs of the year, and I'll say that again. Talos Principle is one of my favorite playthroughs of 2015. It may not be one of the best games of the year, particularly because it was actually released last year, but I love this game, and I'm loving the playthrough of it, okay? And thank you to those of you, I did notice a few people who pledged to Patreon. I haven't even updated the goals for October yet. I am going to do that within the next week, but I have not had a chance to do it because I've been, you know, so fucking busy with personal stuff and then all this stuff with live streaming and everything, and I just haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it by the end of this week. So, once those goals are updated, you'll hear me talking more about it. But thank you to those of you who pledged even without even having new goals. They were just like, we don't care. We support Phil. We don't care what the goal is. Here's a pledge. And that's awesome. Okay? Thank you for that. So FYI, to close today, every day that I'm not live streaming, I'm going to be doing a daily update like this. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make the daily update the featured video on DSPGaming, unless it's a day when, say, there's a big stream or a big premiere, then I'll probably do a pre-stream, and then whatever the premiere is, like let's say I'm starting Fallout 4, that'll be the featured video on DSPGaming, okay? So either daily update will be the featured video if it's like a normal day, and I'm not streaming. If it's a special day with streaming, then probably one of the gameplay videos from that day will be the featured video on DSPGaming. Alright? And then I'll do a pre-stream normally like I would do when I normally stream, okay? Alright, so that was a lot to talk about. I hope you watched the whole video and liked it and enjoyed it. Very informative, right? Good to get a lot of that off my chest, and I hope that you are in agreement with a lot of what I said. And I'm about to get started. I'm excited to go back to Witcher 3, even though I know I'm probably going to suck at it and not remember the controls. It'll take a few minutes, but I'll probably, you know, remember after a few minutes how the hell to play the game. And once I do, then I'll get back into it. And, again, another 8 to 12 hours of Witcher 3 content. Hopefully people will enjoy it. I know I will, because I loved the game earlier this year. But it's one of those games, again, a long, drawn-out RPG. So after the first few videos, people say, well, it's a long, drawn-out RPG. I'll see you in 2 months when you're doing something different. I don't know. I don't get it. I used to do playthroughs like this, and people really enjoyed watching me, delve into the game. I used to get complaints when I rushed through, right? Phil is the gamer that rushes through every game he plays so he can get to the next game and get more views. So in the past few years, I've completely changed that. I take my time with games. I do side content. Now Phil is the gamer who takes way too long to get through games. He does way too much side content, and it's boring, so we don't watch the playthrough. He does it to just extend the length of the playthrough to get more views. And I'm like, how stupid can you be? It's obviously, you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. No matter what I do, I'm going to be told I'm doing it wrong. But I don't care. It's all about the quality, right? And I think that the quality of my gameplay videos has gone up way better than it used to be, especially for a game like Witcher. That Witcher 3 playthrough I did earlier this year was basically almost a completionist playthrough when it came to the story and all the side content with the characters. It was a lot of fun doing it too. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll join me today for the continuation of The Witcher 3 with the Hearts of Stone expansion, and later tonight for Minecraft Story Mode, alright? Thanks everyone for listening. I know it was a long one. Peace out. I'm about to get started with gameplay. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.